All right. I suppose one of us has to say something at
Yeah,
some point.
I guess so. Hey, I like that though. That's fun. That's good, right? It's the merengue line, right?
Simmering line.
Yeah,
I feel like
kind of that.
I feel like I want a shirt that just says internal party or like always partying. You know? You know what I'm saying? And it's just like,
Internal. I like that. That's really
yeah,
good.
permanent internal party. And you just walk around just
Internal.
everyone's like, that guy's hot. No, I think he's just partying inside his head.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah, he's high on
He's
life.
high on life.
Yeah,
Yeah. I
yeah,
mean, we've seen the high on life shirts.
right,
Those exist.
right.
But internal party.
Internal party. I like that. That's good.
Yeah, it's not
That's
bad.
really good.
It's not bad.
It's true too.
It is.
It
It
is.
is. It is
Yeah.
the party. The party goes on. Hi, everybody. What's going on? Welcome, welcome. Hi. We are live once again on the Sunday sermon, and woo! Wow, Paul. If we weren't living in a country where you weren't allowed to have parties, probably I'd say that was a real good one last night. But technically, you're not supposed to do those anymore. So we won't say anything about how great last night was. But boy, if we were living in a free country where you were allowed to hang out with your friends, that was a really good one last night.
Yeah. Epic. That was
Not that
epic.
we're saying that
Totally. Yeah.
because
Not that
we
it
would
happened,
no,
right?
not that we would
No.
ever
No.
do
we would-
anything
We'd never do
that
that.
the government says not to
Yeah.
do
Yeah. Because we're Canadian.
because we're Canadian, obviously, and that's wouldn't be very
Canadian.
Canadian, would it?
Right.
No.
Yeah.
So it's important to just do what you're told, always.
Because I'm Canadian.
Because that's what we're. There's another funny video coming out, and you'll see. But this week is very special. It's always special on the sermon, but this week's extra special because Paul's in the house. Yes. If anyone, I know there's maybe some new people joining this week who they don't know Paul, which is you've missed out, and you're about to be caught up. Paul is this guy's main spiritual teacher. That's right. There's a lot of spiritual teachers out there, but the main one that's physically in a body that has not left yet, for me, that's helped me in my journey, this guy right there. So there you go. It's Paul. When I'm going around like hugging the shit out of everybody and loving everybody, and everyone's like, "Boy, you sure are nice, and you love a lot, and you're not you." Most people would have taken that guy and killed him, and you were just loving and joking around, and you were very calm. Why is that? It's because there's a lot of love here, because I learned a lot about love from this guy. And where did you tell us about this love thing? Where did you learn about this love thing, Paul? Because I learned a lot about it from you, but you must have had an influence too.
Yeah. Well, oh my God. Yeah,
It's a funny
I
question.
think that is a funny question, actually. It's a good question. Yeah, because I laugh when I hear like spiritual. What does that mean, right? And that's what we're going to talk about today, right? What does that mean really? We're all of spirit, right? We're all that. And in every moment right now. The real thing is, who are we? What's our soul essence? Are we experiencing it here? Are we fully expressing it here? There's the thing. Yeah, I don't. I think I just came in that way. I'm just a puppy dog, And my parents used to get all worried about me, and when I was younger, my mom would say, Paul, you should shine your light on your own garden. Like you're so out there. And my dad was afraid I'd get hurt. Because I was just like in my hometown. I fell in love with everybody. I didn't, whether it was car boys or the music nerds or the academics or the partiers or the rebels or the whoever. I just thought everybody was amazing, fascinating. Like we're all so fascinating. I just felt that love there. So yeah, no, that's always been there for me. Coming in here, just I love people. Always love people. I mean, yeah, and it's like you say, it's the most challenging to love to love each other when we've forgotten who we are, and we're in, we're in that place of woundedness, and it's coming out and hurting others, right? Um, then there's a challenge. How do you hold space for a person there without what's the word I'm looking for? Without saying that behavior is okay, no, it's not okay, but I still love you, brother. And that's you brought that forward on your video. And that's what we were going to talk about today, right? Like,
Yeah,
amazing was when you brought that through.
we do
That's
have
really
we
cool.
do have a juicy topic today. We do have a very, very juicy topic. So let's do this. Typically, I do sometimes we just do a little wee meditation. People seem to like it. In fact, these weirdos that listen to this show, when I don't do a meditation, they're like, "Are you gonna do a meditation?" And I'm always like, "Yeah." So, what do you think, Paul? You want to take us through just a little connect? You
Sure,
want to
yeah,
do
we
it?
could do that. Yeah,
Let's do a
nice.
little kind of connect. Let's do a little,
Yeah,
just a small, nothing crazy. For
yeah,
any new
nothing
people are
crazy,
freaking
right?
out
Yeah.
right now, it's going to be weird. It's a cult. They're going to do meditation. Listen, it's
It's
good
a
for you.
it's a love is my new normal cult.
Yeah, don't panic. It's a good cult, and you're in it because you're watching the live stream. So just accept it. You're going to be fine. Here we go. Let's rock it.
Nice, yeah. Well, as always, let's just become cognizant of our surroundings wherever you are. Just allow ourselves to be here. Wherever you're seated, if you're seated or you're some people, wherever you are, just become aware of our bodies and just physically, just be aware of how you are in your body right now and how present you are to your body right now. Yeah, yeah. And then as we let ourselves relax, just relaxing into this moment of now, which is really the only moment there ever is the now. Just to go, okay, let's give ourselves permission to be here now, to let go of any concerns or worries of the day or thoughts of the future and just relax into the now a little more. And the best way to do that is just start being aware of our breath. And just notice how your breath is moving through your body right now. And just checking in with your body. Are you tight in some areas? Where might you be relaxed, and allow that relaxation to move into the other tighter areas of the body? And just allowing the breath to be a little more fuller. And notice, are you breathing into your tummy? Or are you kind of breathing through the chest, kind of shallow? And if you feel comfortable, just holding your belly and allowing the breath to fill up like a glass of water from the bottom to the top, and just allow that nice, long, deep breath filling from the belly all the way up to the top of the head. And a gentle exhale, and then an inhale. So one of the ways that we use the breath to really get into moment consciousness is to take the gaps out between the breath. So when we breathe in, just before the upper stroke of the breath comes to the top of the head, just as it comes, we let go, like gravity, of our breath, and we just let it drop all the way to the bottom of the spine. And just before it's at the bottom, when we breathe back in again, we call it conscious connected. So there's no gaps between the breath. It's just one gentle flow, like a wave coming up onto the beach and then back into the ocean. And we just allow whatever thoughts are there to be there, and whatever is going on in the body just to be there without resistance, just allowing everything to be here without judgment or resistance, needing to change anything, just accepting everything the way it is in this beautiful moment, to be present to whatever is here with full acceptance. All the while connecting our breath, filling from the belly, all the way back down. And just allowing a deeper and deeper relaxation to take us over. It's almost like we're melting into the Mother Earth, just dissolving until we can come to that place of the bodiless breath, where we're just life breathing itself. I kind of feel like when I come into this state, like a jellyfish in the ocean, you know, just a beautiful kind of pulse in and out of breath, the lungs expanding and gently coming back. And last night we were so in our child wonder nature last night, and we were laughing and having so much fun, you know, and it's such a magical place, like when we were young, you know, maybe 10 or 8, and we're with either nature or our friends, and we're playing and we're laughing. So just allowing that childlike, innocent wonder back into the heart, back into our present moment awareness as a state, just remembering what that felt like to laugh and play. And just, you know, there was no things to do, no things to have to achieve or worry about, or you were just so in the moment and so happy and joyful and free to just be here without having to do anything. And just allow that feeling, that state, to just permeate every cell of your body and expand into all the way to the top of the head, all the way down the arms, all the way down the legs to the feet, and just feel that state, that emotion, just taking you over as you remember the sights, the sounds, the smells, the tastes, right? And the joy in the heart. Just allow that to expand and contract with your breath, and just fill yourself up with that state. And remember what it felt like to connect to each other, the wonder of it all. And then just allowing ourselves to settle into that internal party within, realizing it's all here now, right? There's nothing to do, there's nowhere to go. It's just life here now as you. Yeah, just to thank our guides in the earth and Mother Gaia for these bodies, and for the Creator for these souls, and all our loved ones, and all the things we're grateful for. Just allowing that in this beautiful time we get to spend together today. All my relations. Oh, slowly letting yourself come back. When we say come back where? Just stay there, but be here. Right?
Apparently, you're like a kitten full of love. Another person said the power of right meow. That's really cute.
Right me
The
out.
right meow. Hmm. Okay. All right, humans. So now that we're slightly more chill, hi. Ooh. Yeah, I'm still coming back from just. I literally woke up like 2 minutes before. I had three alarms set. One was like 9 o'clock, and the other one was like, well, just in case that one doesn't work out because I went to bed really late. Like one was like 9:40, and then there's that last minute holy shit alarm that's like right before going live. That's the one that went off. I'm like, fuck, are you serious? We're live in 2 minutes. Holy shit! So yeah, so we're still coming back. But woo. So the thing that I really wanted to share this week that I'm really excited about. It's been going on for quite some time for me as a human, and it's stepping into my gift. Stepping into my gift. And the amount of magic that has been happening and is always happening when we actually do the things required in our life so that we can get to the place of really being present and being able to live our gift. It's so magical. Like that's just what I just wanted to do the download today of like, holy fuck, I'm still flipping out that this happened, and here's why it happened, and just to encourage everybody that they can also find their gift, like their real gift that they're here to do, and they can rock it, and that we're all here to rock it. But to understand fundamentally, for all of us to get to that place where you're absolutely doing what the Creator put you here for, like your destiny, right? Everyone's got that destiny, or you're just gonna do whatever it is, you're gonna rock it. But it's like it's sitting there waiting for you, for everybody. Like your destiny is sitting there, like you at your highest, just being fucking amazing, doing what you're here to do. That's just there waiting for you. But you may need to get your shit together and let go of some things that are keeping you from being that fully realized version. We've got work to do, basically. And the last, a decade or more, I've really been working my ass off to get to the point where I can fully be in my gift, and it's like an ongoing process. But the miracles that happened right before this thing, this video that just happened, were really just, it's almost like at this point in my life, I'm finally doing what I came here to do, right? But what happened right before that was me letting go of everything, literally everything that was weighing me down energetically, psychologically, that wasn't me being fucking me, like 100%. I had to let it go. And it's been a multi-year process of just letting go, till finally at one point universe went. So the crazy story of it, where people will be like, that's freaky, is, and let me just make it a little bit better lighting in here, guys. Just pull this one down. There we go. That should be a little bit better. Bam! Nice. So let's begin with this. The reason why this is kind of really a magical week for me, is that I started doing stand-up comedy back in like the late 90s. So really long time ago. And loved it. It was like my first passion. It was just epic. Just love making people laugh. That's just part of my DNA, right? Even when I wasn't that deep, even when I was still doing like stupid dick jokes and just immature stuff, I liked making people laugh. That was my thing. And then at some point, I went on this personal development journey. I got into, became a dating coach, went viral on the internet for helping guys connect. The old school followers know. New people might be like, what's he talking about? There's a big backstory. You guys, there's a lot. It's a whole thing. But fundamentally, I got out there and I was just helping people connect with women, and it was a great time. And as that was going on, and I was becoming this character that was all about taking chances and connecting with women, um, in the back of my head, I knew stand-up comedy. At some point in my life, I'm gonna get back to that first passion of like telling jokes. Like I always knew that that's my thing. Like my real thing is making people laugh, waking people up through comedy, getting people to think like that, just rocking people and getting them thinking. That's really my path. That's my highest purpose. And to some degree, there was almost a little frustration because all these years, I'm getting older. I'm in my 30s, and eventually I'm in my 40s, and I'm still not doing the thing, right? A lot of stuff going on. Things are fine, but I'm not doing the thing, right? And what happened, and just in the last few weeks coming up to the event, the video that kind of put me on the map as a comedian who's out there waking people up. It was me having to let go of like literally everything that wasn't that, and it was really fucking intense. And the miracle, the real miracle was, and I'll give like the main example. So my old business, had a business where I was helping men overcome their fear, attain social freedom. So my whole thing was like, go out there, take chances, do crazy things. So you just get rid of your fear of judgment. So you're socially free, can express yourself, can do whatever you want to. That's the whole thing. I got books written about it. I got marketing funnels, a whole business, like a coaches teaching, workshops for me. Like it's a whole fucking, it's a whole thing. And for the last few years, even though the business existed and people were out there selling those courses, I knew in my heart, energetically, I wasn't in it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a business. It's just it's how we make money. And I was just in this pattern of like trying to make videos to sort of sell these courses because that's my business. And even though I don't really give a fuck, I'm still doing it. And it was this awkward thing. And literally a week before this thing happened, I just got to a point where it was a big thing for me. And I was just tuning in, like, what should I do? I'm not really happy. It's not really my thing. What do I do? And Spirit was like, dude, you got to give it away. Like, that's the message I got. Just even though, of course, it's so difficult to do when you've built something over 10 years and you're known for it. You know what I mean? Like, and it's just to stop that thing, that identity, this whole character, and just give it away. And I really tuned in, and that's what I got. It's like, dude, no, just give it away. Fuck, it doesn't matter. It's energetically draining you. It involved other relationships that were no longer in alignment as well. It was like this whole thing. And it was just this energy suck. And when I finally made that decision and went, okay, I'm just going to give it away. I'm done. I'm just going to give it away. No strings. Hey, and literally gave the business away. And it was such a release. It was energetically, it was just like a dump. Literally the next day, boom, I was like on fire. I just immediately started like just doing my thing, focusing on other projects, doing more comedy, like more joking around, planning other great videos, whatever. And within a week, this is the miracle, within 7 days of me giving away my, and before there were other steps, publicly retiring the Sasha Day Game character, changing my name to Alex the Comic, Alex Lazarev, going back to my original name. All these things were happening. But when I fully gave away the business and just went, I'm done, gave it away, within 7 days, that magical thing happened, which, that video where I'm in the car joking around, trolling the narrative, and a crazy guy attacked me with a bike, and then that went viral, and then suddenly now it's like it's basically an announcement to the world. Oh, okay, I'm here. I'm here to do to really do what I'm here to do, to be funny and wake people up fully in my gift. Like that's like, it happened. That's the miracle. It happened a fucking week, within a week.
Yeah.
After I said, okay, I'm done with that. I'm going to be who I really am. I'm going to step into my gifts within a week. As soon as I said, okay, I'm making this space to be who I really am, universe went, oh, you're ready to be you? Okay, here you go. Boom. Within a fucking week. And that's a mere, like that's the odds of that, like to happen by coincidence.
Right.
It's not a coincidence. And so that's really the point here. It's like when you're, and every single one of us, you may not be sitting there going, like me, like Saj, you're not like, yep, I want to make jokes and wake people up. We've all got our own unique gift. Every single person listening to this, you came in here for a reason. And that's, I think, probably one of the biggest frustrations in the human experience is being here, but not really being here, not knowing why you came. You know what I mean? Not being fulfilled every day, just being who you are. Lack of self-knowledge, but lack of like, what the fuck am I doing here? I think that's got to be one of the biggest ones. What are we doing here? And holy fuck, when you actually really get into it and you're just being you, it's the most magical shit ever. Like you can't even put it into words. You can't even put it into words. And that's why this was so profound for me, because this video, it was just the world just seeing me. That's all it really was. It was just, I've always been this guy, but for me to really be fully in it, being funny, being sarcastic, having fun, and trying to wake people up from my heart, from a place of love, that's me. And the world saw that, and the world liked that. And I was like, it's the best. When you feel that love, and it's like, but you weren't doing, you were just being.
Right.
Like, I wasn't there like trying to put on, I was just doing me, having fun, doing what I do. And a lot of people saw it and went, yeah, we like what you're doing. We like you. We want to see more from you. That's profound.
Yeah.
That's a holy shit moment,
It's like you gave the world a chance to fall in love with you.
Yeah.
And you didn't do a thing. You just showed up in your passion as yourself. And everything else just happened. That's pretty cool, eh?
It's pretty cool.
Right?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. So knowing Sasha, probably for the last couple of years now, right? And instantly recognizing and remembering this connection that we've always had. And I'm sure a lot of you have experienced like, oh, wow, what is it about this person? They're so familiar. I feel like I've known them forever. And it's a knowing, right, in your heart. And having the privilege to witness each other's journeys, each other's lives. And really that's all we are expected to do here is it's not our job to fix each other and change each other and, all of, or ourselves really. It's our job to just be ourselves and let everyone else be themselves. And I think we probably had more of that experience when we were younger, where we were just joyful and playful with each other. But really, when we can let go of that way of being with each other, really what's left is we get to witness each other, witness each other's lives. And that's such a privilege, isn't it? To witness another human's life and sharing that. And so for me, just journeying with Sasha and being with each other and being with him through all these, growth moments and revelations and integration and watching the changes happen from there. For me, witnessing Sasha, in that moment you're talking about, where Sasha just really showed up completely, just like you said, you were just being yourself. And watching how when you did, as we all do, struggling with, you built an identity, right? You had a big following. It's so easy to get caught up, all of us really, who am I? Well, I'm my history. I'm what my family thinks, my friends thinks, or what my degree tells me I am, or my job, or whatever. These are the standard markers for who we are, and it's all about always achieving from this place of I'm not enough, or my future happiness will be there when I get this, or do that. It's just the way we're wired, it seems, in this culture that we're in of achieving and moving and attaining and all the rest of it. And so to witness Sasha just, showing up and being himself, letting go of all of those labels and trusting enough to step out into, and it does feel like the unknown, doesn't it? It's weird. It's like this construct that we all built. It may not be making us happy, right? And it may not be delivering everything we want, but it's comfortable, it's familiar, and it's maybe just enough to kind of keep you in the game, right? And I always think of the Raiders of the Lost Ark, for those people who have seen that movie. The lead actor is looking for the Holy Grail, and he comes to this cliff, and the cave is on the other side of this cliff. So there's a big, drop that looks like a bottomless drop. And he's going, how am I going to get to the Holy Grail? Which really, I think what we're talking about today, the Holy Grail is ourselves, is being ourselves. That's the Holy Grail we're looking for here, and thinking it's everywhere out there, but here, right? The internal party of you, of finding you, and it's like so simple, we miss it, and so this actor goes, well, how am I going to get from here to there? And it's pretty freaky. You look down and the unknown feels like that. Like, what you mean, if I was to be myself, like, just be me and trust that the universe has my back. Matter of fact, not only has my back, is thrilled when I take that step, and is there to meet me instantly when I open to that moment of being me in this here now, right? And letting that go, trusting, taking the faith, and taking that step into the unknown. And it scares the shit out of everybody, really. It's unfamiliar. And is the universe friendly? Is there actually real love here? Will I be met here if I step into this? And then the lead actor steps out, right? And he has to step out for the step to meet him. And then it's the step or leap of faith. And that leap of faith, what we're talking about today, is if I be myself, if I let go of all the labels and all the all the habits, all the ways of coping, surviving, who I think I am, who others think I am, and I actually just let myself be myself, what would my life be like? What would the quality of my life experience, right? It was just me. Would life meet me? And so each step into the unknown is another step, and he goes across this gap and ends up in the cave where the Holy Grail is. And that's another story how far it goes. But the whole thing is this leap of faith that we're all facing here, when we go, wow, if I let this go, am I going to be okay? So witnessing Sasha do that, like literally do that, and show up and be yourself, and how profoundly life just met you, like pretty much instantly, right? And within that moment of just being you were giving yourself the opportunity to actually let the world love us just as we are, not needing to do anything to get it viral. Just you're passionate about this and you're just being yourself. And then also everything that you've done in your life led up to that one moment where a guy could attack you, literally, and you're fiercely standing up for who you are and everyone else and what you believe, but you're still holding his heart, but you're fierce about it. Like, hey, there was a lot of swearing and, what are you doing, man? Don't you know you've been psyoped? Like, I love you, brother. Like, think, and that to me is fierce love. That's showing up as you are, passionate about what you're doing, but you don't lose the connection with the others. You can feel the sameness and that compassion. They're just, they forgot who they are. They're in fear. They've been psyoped. They've been enculturated, trained, brainwashed. And it's our culture, isn't it? So really, what does it take to come home to ourselves. And wasn't it interesting, we were talking last night about the energetics of that? As soon as you opened, life came in, but there was like, it went out into the collective.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, you could feel it energetically, right? It was like that took itself out into the collective. So your energy, your essence, your soul essence, in alignment with the passion and your destiny and what you're here to do, it was like it all met, and then just went boom, and it was, you could feel it and know, oh my God, this has really gone out there. And I think that's the crux of what we're talking about, to understand that when we do align with who we are and let go of who we're not and take that step, that leap of faith, life is waiting for us. The divine is waiting for us to live into that moment, and it will guaranteed meet you. And I think that was what was so wonderful for me to witness, because I care deeply for Sasha, and to watch a human being in your journey step out and watch the divine meet you the moment you were yourself, and how it's like a dam opened and an ocean came in, and this is the thing about this work that we're all here to do. I look at it like Michelangelo with statue of David finds a flawed marble right in a quarry, and nobody wants to work with it, but he says, I see something in that, can I have it? And isn't that like we all feel flawed? And he brings it back his studio and he chips away, and there's David, the most beautiful statue in the world. And I got luckily to stand in front of it physically, and just like the beauty of that, and really the beauty of you. And they said to Michelangelo, how did you do that? Like, that's the greatest sculpture ever. And he said, it was easy. I just chipped everything away that wasn't David. And that's our job, is to let go of everything we've been socialized, conditioned in, that we think we need to do to get ahead here, to be loved here, to be seen here. And it's just it's a letting go, right? To be who we already are now. And the moment we let that go, it's like an ocean of love comes in and meets us. It's like we create this opening, and life has been waiting for that. It's not about going out and getting it. It's waiting for us to just be here and arrive as who we are by letting go of who we're not. And that's a process. That's a process. So I've gone on a little bit, but that just was such a cool thing to witness and see and go, there it is for all of us. There it is for all of us. All we have to do is show up and be ourselves. And yet it's the most foreign thing to do.
Yeah. It is. It's crazy. It's crazy. I take mainly silence as that people are listening, so that's good. Recovery says, great message. Fletcher. What's up, Fletcher? Fletcher says the video is very relevant. So, what's this going to become an issue? Yeah. Yeah, good comment. Yeah, guys. Hello. Hello, Otis. So yeah, man. Yeah, it's just been absolutely insane, in the best possible way, and it's such a relief when you really get there, and you're just like, and you bam, and you're in that sweet spot, and you're actually doing what you came here to do, and you're like, oh, okay, this is it. It's like, all right, now there's no more. There was always that little part. I mean, it's like, wait, when am I actually gonna go and do? You know what I mean? The comedy, the stand. What? And it's just like, that's it. I'm just doing it. I'm just doing what I came here to do, and it's so much fun, and it's really effortless too. Yeah. That's the thing. That's when
you're
crazy
right. Thing, yeah. Right?
It's there's nobody trying to do anything. It's just.
And here's the thing, right? when we're trying to make and force it as to who we are and what we need to do to make it happen and all of that, we never find it. It's always like the carrot and the donkey, right? We're always chasing it and never catching it. And then it's so profound that self-worth and self-love actually comes from the place of being ourself. It's in us, waiting for us. That is the greatest thing that I've experienced and seen others experience self-love through, is when we start being ourselves. It's like we become our own best friend, and we get this connection to this internal party that's us. And you realize that you've the one you've wanted to get the most connected to and receive that validation from really is ourself. And that's where the real self-worth happens, is that connecting to the soul self. And it's through that essential core self that we are. It's through that place that your destiny opens up. But it's that leap of faith. Wow, man, do you mean if I can step into who I am in all its essence, that soul flavor of who I am energetically, that state, that things will start to open up and I'll know what I'm here for. And it will be shown from that place very quickly. It will just open for me. And it's not something I'm chasing. It's coming to me and happening because I'm here now.
Yeah. And people, when we talk about awakening, spiritual awakening, enlightenment, people think it's a getting something or a getting somewhere, and really it's letting go of everything that we're not. It's a letting go process. And that's what the last few years have been, just letting go of like everything that is not in alignment for me, like to be who I am, like everything, like romantic relationship wasn't in alignment, out the window. Business relationships that I'd had for years that weren't in alignment, out the window. Personal relationships, friendships that weren't really serving me, out the window. Had another business I had in Ecuador, was energetically draining me. I had to shut that one down. Like it's so much, and you have to. And we all have these things in life where like we have to drop it. Whether it's a relationship, it could be a bad habit, could be, could be overeating or smoking or drugs or masturbation or porn or, businesses or like humans, we all get tied into things. You know what I mean? We're all doing things, and some things we're doing because of survival. Like, oh, well, I needed to make money, so I got into this, or like, oh, I wanted to do this guy a favor, so I ended up doing this business, and it's not really my thing, but it kind of works. Like so many things we get into that just are not the highest for us. They're okay. They're kind of like, but they're not the highest. They're not in alignment with like the highest version of you. It's not helping you become that most. It's not helping you, live your fucking full 100%. Passion that's going to rock the world. Not quite, sort of, and it's actually holding you back from being that. And yet we accept those relationships. We accept those habits. We make excuses. Oh yeah, this person kind of drives me nuts, but that's okay. I've known them for 20 years, so it's okay, I guess. Or whatever. We it's part of the human condition. It's like we've all got this stuff going on, and that's really the journey. It's like dropping. Like I had to drop all of it, all of it. Including, if you want to get real spiritual, boo-boo, the really big awakenings, dropping even the identity of self as a person, even that ego of even like I'm a body and a mind and I'm this, that had to go out the fucking window too. Like everything has to go out the window for you to really remember who you are and what you're doing here, and that is the process. That is the real awakening, and it's tempted to say it's lifelong. Like it's been so fucking intense. And even though I feel on one life, I know it's like one of my other teachers says, and you like this quote, and people have heard it before, but it's an infinity game. There's no end. As consciousness, there's no end. Like the nature of consciousness is to evolve to higher and higher and higher levels forever. Yeah, that's the game, right? So there's no finish. Even when you think you're done. You're never done.
In that Christ message of The only difference Christ is saying between you and me is there's no difference between me and God. And it's that gradual process, hey, of letting go again of everything we think we are to become who we already are. And the deeper we're coming into who we already are, we go, oh my God, the joy that's here. And I thought this would be a sacrifice to let go of who I thought I was to become who I already truly am. And the joy is in this, beyond anything I could imagine. And don't you find the deeper you've come into yourself, it's not so much like, oh, we got to go, oh, you're not in my life anymore, I'm dropping. It's not that we're saying so much as it is like oil and water. Do you find it? Things just let go, people move on, things don't resonate the same way. So it's not a will thing, at all. It's a natural, much more natural, organic process that happens the deeper we show up for ourselves. And, showing up for ourselves too is being honest. What am I up to? Really? What am I up to here in this situation? What am I trying to get from this situation or person? If I'm really honest, and when I'm here, is this nurturing my soul? Is there joy here? Or is it draining me? And because I'm wanting to get something from this, and if I be really honest about myself, am I being true? Am I really being true to myself here? So I think it's a deep journey of self-honesty and reflection, and getting a sense from our own joy and our own happiness and our own connection, that state of being present here. That becomes our compass instead of this. And how am I doing? Have I achieved enough? Have I got enough money? Have I got all those external things that I thought I needed to make it and be happy here?
Yeah. The oil and water thing is really the case. It's like things that used to make sense just don't make sense anymore. Relationships that used to make sense, they don't make sense anymore. And that's the real freaky thing about really going within, really waking up. It's like you look, because it's like this epic stuff happens, and your identity dissolves as this and merges with consciousness itself, and as you're that. And then you look at your life and you're like, and you got these things that just don't make sense anymore, because they don't make sense. And you're almost looking at, it's weird because like you're this other being, but you're still having you go back into your human experience, your epic consciousness forever, but then you're back in the body, and you look at your life and you're like, really? Is this my life? Like, really? This person's about? This is who I'm dealing with? Really? I'm in a relationship with this guy? Really? Like, fucking hell, I'm in what business? Really? What the fuck? So it's almost like weird. You're like, it's like, it's weird. It's like you're just, because it happens really quickly, and suddenly you're just there, and you're like, it's a whole thing, like integrating the big awakenings actually into your life, and then as the person having to do all these things to clean shit up to actually get your life to where it should be now that your consciousness is at this new place. You know what I mean? And it's such a it destroy. I mean, it literally rips your life apart. I mean, people talk about this. There's a funny meme out there that people think spiritual enlightenment, just there you like with the yoga position on a hill, just meditating, and in fact,
it's funny.
Spiritual enlightenment is just like hell and chaos and brimstone and dragons burning shit buildings, people running out of burning buildings and screaming and like decapitate. It's like the death of everything. It's complete fucking destruction.
I mean, the Buddhists say a state of confusion is a high state of consciousness, because it's the confusion in that moment. Another metaphor that I think is really appropriate for it is when all the rivers of your life are meeting the ocean of love. And in other words, this center of coming into the ocean of universal love. Those rivers coming together is where it's before it merges into the ocean. The Buddha, because everything's turned upside down. Everything we were taught that would bring us happiness doesn't.
Mm.
And there's this recognition like, oh my God, that famous saying, know thyself. What they missed out in that saying was know thyself and forgive.
Mm.
And in that forgiveness, you'll realize of yourself you can do nothing. You never could. But of your high self, of your true self, you are and can do everything.
Mm.
But it's a letting go, a slow shedding of the snake's skin, the Kundalini energy. Only we're going inward, and we're, shedding old skins like old garments that no longer serve us as we come closer and closer to that essence of truth, of who we are. And yeah, so it's a turbulent time. It's almost like your whole life is turned upside down. And for a while you're just like, holy shit, everything I thought was what it was about isn't. And it does feel like you're unstable, like you don't have roots in. But after a while, you start to stabilize and equalize into this new place of joy, of being you, of being here now, and more connected to the divine, to nature, to the rhythms of things. We're here for it. Like last night, we're children having so much fun, just being joyful in the moment with nothing else to do but just be here. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so crazy too, seeing people's reaction when they find us, and then we're all hanging out, and then they just feel love, and we're just loving on people and hugging people, and people like freaking out, like, you exist, you people are real. And it's like, yeah, it's just amazing. It's like watching people go through what I went through when I met you. And so, yep, this is your life, family. We love you. We're all about the love, and you can just be yourself here. And it's just people's reality is just shattered. And I've seen it over and over, and it's always beautiful to see people go, "You're fucking real." Like, it's just, yeah, it's wild.
Like it's so beautiful because everybody's like, okay, we don't have to play any games. We don't have to earn our way in. There's no one trying to do anything here. Are you saying I can just be me and show up and I'll be accepted? And not only accepted, seen and loved, for just you. Like it is rare. It's so rare to just have that. And again, I go back to the childhood of innocence when all that wasn't going on, right? It depends, at times, of course, we all had different childhoods, right? And it wasn't all roses for sure. But those moments of wonder and the magic of being together and in the wonder of life and just the laughter and the sharing of it, it's that essence coming home to the child, the wonder child, coming home to that innocence, but not mistaking it for weakness, because it's become a wisdom, a fierce love, right? But the wonder is there.
Yeah, it's a hell of a thing that kind of managed to take the wonder out of life. Putting us in this matrix where you just gotta make it, and you gotta struggle, and you gotta make money and be successful, and we're all trying to fill this idea of success that's bullshit, complete bull, has nothing to do with reality, right? All this external stuff, and it just takes away from us doing the real work and finding ourselves, because we're told what to be.
Exactly, and it's not that it's wrong. It's what we all need to do. It's in our own way. It's like we're taught it's external out there. You get the house, you get the marriage, you get the kids, you get the job, whatever that is, right? And you've arrived, right? And we buy it. We're enculturated into it. We're socialized into it. And then you go out and you do everything they told you to do, and you get all the stuff, which I did in my life. I got everything that I thought was going to do it for me. And what can happen for a lot of people, and it definitely happened for me, was what we call an existential crisis. When you've actually achieved all the goals that you set for yourself, and now you're there and it didn't work. And you're like, holy shit, now what? Wow. I was suicidal in that moment. I talk about, coming in Vancouver here, we have this beautiful, Lionsgate Bridge from the city to Shoreline, and I'm coming across this bridge, and I've just, I'm driving my Jag. I got my home. I'm driving to, and I've won all these awards in my career as a realtor at that time. And I arrived. I've got everything that you could always have more, but I mean, pretty much there. And I'm driving across the bridge, and I want to make a left turn off the bridge, and I'm going, what the hell is that? That was my existential crisis. It was like I arrived at what I was supposed to do to get all the stuff I'd been promised, and I'm here now, and I've never felt emptier. And that was this, a big start of my awakening, was when we stopped looking to the external for happiness, and we realize it's an inside job. The internal party is here, and turn our focus this way and start coming in. That's when what happens. It's like a wave as our breath goes out, and then it comes back in to self. So we externalize looking for it out there, realize it isn't there, and we come back into where we started from. But what a journey that one breath out and in back to center is,
Yeah. Neo Doom gets it. The kingdom of God is within. It is the case. This one made me giggle. In capital letters, Jesus is the only proven God. So apparently, Jesus is God and proven. So there's a lot going on in that sentence. I don't know, Paul. Should we?
Yeah, that's a deep one. Yeah, I like the universal. In the Course in Miracles, you may not be. Some of you may not be familiar with it, but it's channeled teaching. It's a channeled Christ conscious teaching, and there's so many beautiful quotes. But one of them is a universal theology is impossible. But a universal experience is not only possible, it's necessary. And it's that direct knowledge of who we are that brings us together as one. And that's where we realize we are that oneness through the direct experience. And so that's an internal experience, an internal knowing that will never get out there. It doesn't exist out here. It's here. And it's quite a process to let go. Like you said, oh my God, I had the date. I was this guy. I was, right? I had this and I was attached to that. And to come to that place of it didn't deliver, right? I'm not happy, really. If I really check in, am I really living my full potential? Am I really experiencing a quality of life? Am I, am I really connected in the way that I could be? Am I really feeling like that contribution of me is happening here, right? And there's your existential crisis, right? Existential. It's like, it's not. So then what? That's quite a moment, and they might call that the dark night, where everything I thought would do it isn't. So now what, right? But that really begins, right? That's when, So as above, so below is an internalization. As above, so below. It's not like we have these experiences where we get these deep states of knowing and these expansive states and go, wow, I've arrived. It's more like, whoa, here is a possibility of who I truly am, and I could live this here now as me. And that's an integration. And that takes time, right? As you found out. It's a shedding. It's a letting go of. We come back in the same way we went out. We come back in and we meet all the wounding, all the socialization, all the enculturation, all the way back to the womb and conception. and we meet ourselves. But the beauty is, as we come back in, all of those strategies that we use to go out and get the things we think we wanted, and all of the strengths that we develop to defend and protect, and they now become the what we call the pearls in. We can now use those strengths, and we can use those insights and who we've become there to support our inward journey now. As we come home, we're gathering all of these amazing gifts on the way home that we get to now use as we become who we are. It's amazing, an amazing thing. Instead of just coping, we're now living.
Yeah, it's a big difference. That's a good question. How do we wake up the dude? Wake up the dude who dude who broke the window. So basically, there was a little mistake there. But yeah, and that's really the big question. How do we wake up those that are really in the anger and really in the pain and like really lost essentially?
Mm-hmm.
And the simple answer, I'm guessing this guy's going to say, is to choose love, regardless of where someone is at in their journey, is to be the shining example and to choose to forgive and to choose love in every moment. Still, even when someone's psycho or really like acting crazy, really, really traumatized, whatever, that's just a cry for love. Like the only reason anybody does anything really, really like crazy is because they're lacking love. I mean, that's it. If you know who you are and you have lots of love in your life, you have a connection, a spirit connection to other human beings, you'd be okay. Like there wouldn't be this need for you to get all this anger out or flip out or hurt anybody. Like this is all stuff that only exists out there because lack of connection to our true nature, right? Lack of self-knowledge, lack of love. So every time anything happens out there where people are demonstrating to us that they lack love, to see that, right? So it's easy just to go, this person is an asshole, this person's crazy, this person's like that, whatever, and to judge and just dismiss people. But actually, it's a cry for help, right? Like somebody losing it, and you know what I'm saying, like that. It's a cry. It's a really loud cry for help. Actually,
absolutely. It's such an integral and great question that we, because we all are challenged by something and someone, and all of us, right? And you're like, wow, I'm challenged here. How do I show up here without this reactivity, all this reactivity and all the stuff that we're going through? I believe that, and the Christ teachings that I've been following is relationship is the fast track to awakening. That means that we'll get triggered so quickly in our relationship dynamics with others, and it's a given that trigger will happen. It's more about what's it for, rather than if I blame other and I attack other and I defend against that and I make them wrong, then I feel like I'm victimized by them, and then I need to now become a perpetrator to defend myself against them. And next thing you know, you're in this really interesting dynamic relationally with this person. Okay, now there's another choice there. What if I, regardless of the appearances of how they're showing up, realize that whatever is triggered in me by this, it's not me condoning it, but whatever I'm reacting to here is a gift to me for my own healing because of the reaction. Reaction means reliving past wounds. And so they're actually giving us this opportunity to visit our own wounding. They're gifting us this place of coming home, right? And going, whatever doesn't see the truth in that, right, is my own wounding patterns. It's where I haven't met myself yet, because isn't that what makes us human? Again, going back to know thyself and forgive. I think when we all get really honest, the world is a reflection of us. We all have hatred in our heart at times, or malicious thoughts, or wanting to get something, or we've hurt people, maybe unknowingly a lot of the times, but we've done it. And if we're not honest in that and seeing how we've shown up in our humanity and hurt others through our unconsciousness and forgetting who we really are, right? Then it makes it easier to understand the wounding patterns of others. And if we see that also as an opportunity for love, an opportunity to learn self-love, then they're gifting us to this opportunity to remember the truth about them and the truth about us and heal what separates us in love from them. But this doesn't mean we're a lamb going to the slaughter. Love is fierce, man. Love is fierce, you know, and meeting a person in this moment with intensity and passion, but your heart wide open, but going, hey, man, what are you doing like you did? You've been psyop, brother. And you just smashed it, right? And you were like, I love you. I still love you. I know the truth about you. And, you know, think about it. Think about what are you doing here? What is this? You're giving a person a chance to reflect by the space that you just held for that person's humanity and their fear. I mean, obviously the guy's in high fear, right? To the point where he's doing something like that. But I love the way you met him. And I think that's a lot of why people fell in love with you, because they get to see in action how you can be different in confrontation, how we can be fierce in our truth and our love. At the same time, you're being true to yourself. We haven't cut off and dehumanized that person and cut them off. We're still, our hands are still out there, but we're not condoning it. We're taking care of ourselves and really them in it. It's huge. That was such a great demonstration of how that looks, how that can look, I think.
Yeah, that was the number one comment I kept getting from people. Like, dude, you're really chill, bro. I would have fucked that guy out.
Right?
Like, everyone's like, I would have gone out of the car and kicked that shit. And I'm like, yeah, but it's cool. I still love him. He just needs a hug.
Really, without going like deep into the story, because we can. When I was younger, I was a pretty rough dude. I was brought up rough, and I lived in a rough neighborhood, and got into it sometimes. And I always remember getting into this very intense life and death situation with a biker, and I ended up, because my father was a professional boxer and I was a martial artist and highly trained. Actually, I was able to take care of this situation where this person was trying to take my life, basically. And what was most remarkable to me after this thing had occurred, and he's crying and he's saying to me, "Look what you did to me." Like, you broke bones, you've done, and you had to go to hospital, but I did that to protect myself, because he had a Bowie knife. I mean, it was really like intense. But what always stayed with me in that experience was, after it was all over and him and I were in this house party, and he'd been beating people up, my friends and stuff, and we sat down and had this moment. And we were sitting on the couch together, and he was crying, and he said, "Why did you do this to me?" And I just went, "Dude, you were slapping people around. You threw someone down the stairs. You tried to put a Bowie knife in my gut. Like, really, I'm amazed you'd even ask me that question as to, why this happened to you." And it was a surreal moment, because it went kind of quiet and silent, and I was just here, and I don't know where it came from, but I felt his heart, even though he just tried to take me out. And I was like, I felt bad that I had hurt him. And yeah, you can get justified and say blah, 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 but it was a moment of two humans meeting. And he got all quiet and he started to think because I met him there with my heart. And we just had this deep conversation about, really, bro, what are you doing? Like you were with that guy, like, what are you doing? Like, what happened to you to bring you to this place? You're better than that. I know who you are. You can do this. And so we had this moment and went really quiet. And then his buddy came into the party. And of course, bikers always call the biggest guy tiny.
Of course.
This guy's about 6'11", I would imagine, built like a barn door in a sheepskin jacket. And he looks at his friend and he says, "Who did that to you? I'm going to kill him." And he rips off his jacket, right? And he's frothing. He's going, "I'm going to kill this guy." And I'm sitting there going, okay, kneecaps. It was like, okay, this is going to get serious here. And then it just stunned me what happened. And it took me years to figure this out, because he looked at his friend and he said, he left. He left. And I was sitting right beside him. And I went, was he afraid I might hurt his friend? I don't know why he would be afraid. The guy's 6'10" or 11. I'm only like whatever, 6'1". It couldn't be that. And it took me a while, and it finally registered that we had this moment where we were two brothers talking heart to heart. And he got what he did. And it gave him a moment to reflect, right? And he didn't want to see me get into this with his friend. He didn't want any more of this going on. Something happened to him. Something happened to him in that moment. And his friend took off out looking for me. I was just sitting there. But that one sat with me for years. And then it finally landed and I went, oh, that's what happened. We just got human for a moment. And there was compassion and there was tenderness in the after violence of that adrenaline in that moment, right? And just two humans having a conversation. Like, what the hell are you doing? What are we doing here? What the hell is this? Yeah. So I think it's relevant to what happened to you. You're going, hey, brother, I love you, man. We're out here to do this for you. Like, you've been psyop, bro. Like, think about what's going on here. What are you doing? But love, you were holding him with your heart. I think that's what we need more of, guys. Fierce love, to really get in there with people and not be afraid, right? To really meet situations and people right at the heart of it. And don't forget the truth of who they are and who you are. Yeah.
Interesting. So this is an interesting comment. Jason said, hate and anger do have a place in life, but they are important to feel as well.
Yes.
I think.
Yeah, and that's a good point. What we're seeing, we're not saying that any emotion is bad or good. They're emotions. And self-love is about allowing ourselves the full experience of that without judgment. And even if we judge, loving the part of us that's judging it even. But just to accept what is without judgment and fighting against, resisting against, allowing it to be there, trusting life that it's there for a reason to grow us, right? To break us open without no mud, no lotus. Isn't that how the saying goes? No mud, no lotus. The shadow cracks open the light. So it's a part of the process of awakening. It's necessary. It serves a purpose. So it isn't about making any of it wrong. It's about embracing it all with love, or all with the heart, right? And that makes it much easier to do.
Interesting. There's one guy. All right, we're gonna have to deal with this guy. This guy, Alan. He's saying things like, "Gospel of Thomas isn't legit," followed by, "The gospel of Jesus Christ is offensive to most." I mean, and then he's the guy who's also saying things like, "Jesus is God and nothing else." So, what do you think, Paul? I mean, this is one of your big passions, is, Christ's real teachings. This gentleman seems to be thinking that believing what's in the Bible is Jesus' real teachings. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah. Well, you've opened up a big one here. No, I totally appreciate where this gentleman's coming from. And again, this isn't about being right or wrong. This is about a direct experience of truth, right? As soon as things, remember when I said a universal theology is impossible? I mean, if it was possible, why isn't peace here? Right? We see from history, theology divides, right? But love brings us together, right? And that's really gets us away from the arguing over theologies and political stances, and actually anything that separates us is fear. So it's about coming to the true message of Christ is love. And teach only love, because only love is real. So obviously anything that isn't love isn't Christ consciousness. To justify violence on another being in any way, shape, or form is not the true teachings of the Christ. And interesting with the Christ message, for the first 100 years, there was nothing written down. It was oral, and it was a transmission, because he knew if you write something down, the human ego will start to control it and manipulate it for power. It will not be understood. And that is why the Gospel of Thomas, if you really look into it, there's a lot of theologians that know their stuff. They're saying that may be where the Q Gospel came from. And the Q Gospel was a gospel they felt that the Gospel of Mark came from. And the Gospel of Mark then got Luke, the Gospel of Luke, and the Gospel of Matthew, and a storyline and a whole context was woven around it, and it distorted and changed a lot of things. But as the Christ message is, he didn't come to create a new religion, right? He came to be the fulfillment of the law, the living law of love of God. And he said, to know me is to know the Father, to know God. And I came that you might have life in all its fullness, right? So he was a living transmission of what's possible for all of us in oneness, And just a really quick story, because this was another real poignant one. When I first became a counselor, I worked with addiction. I worked with natives from the residential school systems, firsthand of what happened to them through the Catholic Church, and the genocide and decimation of their people and their cultures. And I had this moment. There was a native elder, and we were having a group process going on, and we were all talking, and then after it was over, everyone left, and it was just me and this elder. And he says to me, because I had a born again experience, if you want to call it that, at 21. I went through the whole, but I'd also had a experience at 18 of samadhi, universal consciousness. So I was able to marry the two together, which gave me a whole different experience of what the Christ message was for me. And it was so amazing to sit there with this man, this elder who'd been so decimated by the residential school system and addiction and genesis of his culture and people. And he looks at me and he goes, because a lot of these elders are very energetically aware, like they see things, they very in tune with the world of spirit, you know. And he says to me, I saw something coming out of your heart and touching everyone here in a way that was perfect for their healing. He said, where did you learn how to do that? Like, what is that? And I sat with him and I said, that's the Holy Spirit. And I said, the Holy Spirit is all about healing and love. And in that moment, something so beautiful happened between him and me. And I said to him, I'm so sorry for what happened to you and your people through the false message. I said, the Christ love had nothing to do with that. That was man-made. Okay? This is the true message. This message sees the oneness of all, sees the Christ in all, and that only love is real. And we had this moment, and to know these elders and how wounded they are and how proud they are, we wept in each other's arms, like wept. And I was like, I feel what happened. I had so much compassion. Not that I was guilty in taking it on. Empathy for another human and just what a false message brought so much pain and suffering to so many. And yes, the underbelly of it is still the message, is still the Christ love, but the human thing. And so there him and I were, and that was magic, bro. In that moment, it was like the biker. Mm-hmm. It was like, holy shit, this is what it means to love and connect through and beyond that pain. And it's our compassion for each other that makes us human and connects us. And that's what brings everything together into that oneness, isn't it? Just two humans being human in that. Yeah, it was profound. It just stayed with me. Still does. It just resonates deep.
That's a deep one. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a really deep one. Well, buddy, let's be honest. I don't think we're going to top that story. That's a good one. That's a really good one. Great quote somebody posted up. Religion is for people who fear hell. Spirituality is for people who have been there. That's epic.
That's very popular in AA, actually.
Oh, really?
You hear that one a lot because people in deep addiction who have been destroyed and annihilated, they know fear. They have gone all the way into the terror of it and come out the other end.
Yeah. It's really interesting. So, yeah, I think we pretty much covered what we wanted to say. If we had to sum it all up, choose love. And your destiny is waiting for you. Just do the work, drop all the bullshit, and do what you came here to do. Because once we're on a planet and everybody's in their gift, like just doing what they came here to do, their passion, doesn't matter what it is, whether you're an artist or a musician or a babysitter, a computer programmer, you're just doing what you love, regardless of what people think, regardless of outcome. You're just doing absolutely what you were created to do, and you're having a great time, and you're doing it with love. That changes the world. The vibrational frequency you're in when you're living your gift and you're happy, you're happy. Everyone can feel that vibration. It affects everybody around you, and it inspires them to do what makes them happy, and it raises their vibration, and then that vibration affects everyone around them, and it just keeps going until eventually everybody's just doing what they're here to do in love. And sometime not that far in the future, I'm hoping, it'll be weird to meet somebody. Now, I really think this is the world we're going into. It'll be weird to meet somebody who's not in their gift. And one day, not too far from now, you'll run into somebody who's not doing their passion, and you'll be like, hey, bro, what's the matter? Have you not Why are you not doing what you're here to do? Because most people will be in their power. And when we meet somebody who's not, we'll just love on them and support them and be like, hey, what do you like to do? Tell us about your passion. Hey, bro, how can we support you? Because there's going to be so much abundance. This is actually the truth. This is the truth of our reality. It's abundance beyond imagination.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
Yeah, that is the truth.
That is the truth. I mean, literally, it's abundance and love and peace beyond imagination. That's reality. That's what we've all got going on inside. And it's only this within this dream hologram that's been sabotaged. Is that not the case? But actually, is bullshit. And so as we come into the truth of who we are, we'll be creating heaven on earth by living our truth, by doing our highest excitement fearlessly, just loving fearlessly. That's what's up, and it's going to be so good. It's going to be so good. And this is what's and the opportunity now in this time that's super dark, just as we're seeing the full agenda and really the quote bad guys, which are it's just actors playing a role, but really putting the clamp down on humanity. That's what humanity needs to wake the fuck up. That's why it's happening. Often big people will have their big spiritual awakenings right after they've been crushed by the universe, whether it's disease or misfortune, going broke, losing everything, or almost dying from cancer, or, some crazy ass shit like crushes you, and then you go, oh, if there is a God, please help, and then bam, mystical, amazing, miraculous thing happens. Boom, some experience leaving the body or even going to the other side and coming back. So many crazy stories out there, mystical experiences. But often it's not like you're having your job and life is great and you're already happy and fulfilled and suddenly you have spiritual life. No, it's usually you're fucking crushed, and then bam, then you get the download. So that's just what we're going through right now. It's a global spiritual awakening. But you don't have to suffer. You can do the personal work, and you can start being who you are and sharing your gifts, and you can choose to be love right now. No matter what's going on out there, you can choose to be the love right now. And your suffering ends when you choose to start living that truth, to start being what you really are, which is on that epic shirt that the universe has told me to start making. So we're doing it. That's it. That's really the only decision you have to make. Are you gonna buy into the fear and the separation and all that complete BS, or are you going to choose love? Are you going to choose unity? And it's every decision. The latest version of these shirts actually say choose love on the back, because that was originally I had my logo for this eventually this company I'll be starting, and then I just was like, no, it's more powerful to just put choose love on the back. Love is my new normal. Choose love on the back. That's it. Because it's a choice. That's the only thing we have to choose in every moment. What would an enlightened master do? What would Jesus do? What would Buddha do? What would anyone who realizes that we're all one, has had the massive realization, what will they do? Would they go around, trying to get the best deal, or taking advantage of people, or treating people badly, or putting people down? No, they would always choose love, because they know our true nature is that. And so even before you've had some crazy awakening experience, whether it be on mushrooms or meditation or almost dying or whatever, even if you haven't had that experience, you can still choose love.
And choosing love is being who we are, as you're saying. Be who you are is choosing love. Be yourself. Live your gift. In the Gene Keys, if you haven't gone there, genekeys.com, it's beautiful. Richard Rudd said the awakening that's happening on the planet right now, the shifting consciousness will come about as each of us lives our gifts from who we are. So that's how important this is, for us to live our gifts from our truth of who we really are. That is consciousness, and consciousness is the new currency. Consciousness is the new currency. And as we give of that, that's what we're giving now, right? Ourselves and our gifts and what we're here for. It's like the caterpillar dying in the cocoon. It turns to mush. That means our old lives are turning to ooze. But you know what happens in that ooze? Imagine what a caterpillar goes through to go into that ooze of everything it was, and not knowing it's going to be a butterfly. and have this amazing experience, which is what we're coming into. Well, in that ooze, guess what? The imaginals, which are the new cells of the butterfly, through that ooze can find each other, and they clump together and go, "Oh, you're an antenna. You're part of the wings. You know, and they find each other and cluster and form the butterfly. And then the butterfly emerges. So I just look at the collective consciousness as being the emerging butterfly. And all of us clumping together is discovering our gifts and who we're supposed to be with in that gift. And we'll find each other, and everybody will do their part for this global transformation to happen. And all we have to do is be ourselves and allow that faith in this transformational process, to believe that life is conspiring for our greatest good, to trust life and go, what if I totally trusted this? What could my life look like? What contribution would I make? What waves? And we felt the wave, right, of you in that moment, right? It was like a wave that rippled out, and you went, oh, we felt that. Go out into the collective. That's the ripple of your gift to the planet. And what's that going to do for those who maybe are just ready to step into it, or strengthening others who are kind of lost hope? And your vibration, your frequency just went up and touched them, right? Like a ripple into the collective, because we're all one. Yeah, and I really believe that's it. We're just in a dark night of the soul. We're going into the ooze, but we're becoming the butterfly.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's going on. And when you realize that's what's going on, you can stop freaking out. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be okay.
Yeah.
We are going to be okay. It's just intense. It's always really intense before a major spiritual awakening. Holy fuck, it's intense. It can be intense right before, can be intense during, and there's integration after, but you do get through it, and everything is all right. But it can just be intense. And I really feel like we're really in the absolute crazy dark, which can only go on for so long until boom, it's over.
Yeah.
And I really feel like this is the last weeks, months.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know what gives me comfort too? I know we're on a time thing. What gives me comfort is many of us have had our own spiritual journeys in the dark night of our soul, right? And you talk to anyone in addiction, no one sobered up because they were having a good time.
That's right.
If you're having a good time, you keep doing what you're doing, right? Yeah. But when you're not, all of a sudden you get into that existential crisis, whether you're driven there through pain, addiction, or searching outside of yourself for love, or whatever that is. And we meet ourselves in that place, right? That dark night, and you see how it shapes you and brings you to your heart, brings you to your soul essence, brings you to your gift. So it comforts me to know that, of course, the whole world, if we're going to come as one butterfly, as one transformed consciousness, that means everybody has to go through the dark night as a collective. And that's a rough ride. If you've gone through it personally, you know that, but you also know the new day is there. Right? The new life is there. So that gives me faith. That helps me to, no matter how crazy it is, right, to go, yeah, that's what we're in. I can trust that. I trust that. There's a new day and a new world emerging here that's going to blow, like you said, it's going to blow our minds. We have no reference for what's coming. No reference. I'm sure Caterpillar would never think that it could become a monarch and fly around the planet. And what would it see and experience compared to maybe half an acre or of ground?
Wow was right. And just a tiny thing to add, like don't, like us saying, yeah, trust, like everything's all right, there's a plan, the awakening. That's not an excuse for like, bend over and take it in the ass and do what you're told. Not at all. If
No.
anything, it's an opportunity to stand in your truth and to stand in love for what you believe in. So when anybody or any entity, any organization tells you this is what you have to do, and it's wrong, it's part of the awakening is us as individuals going, no, absolutely not. And knowing that we're protected in that action. That even though, if we can overcome that fear of consequence, oh, wait, if I stand up and actually say, what's going to happen to me? It's not about you. It's about doing the right thing for the collective. It's all of us. If we all stand up, even if, dude, I say this a lot, if 1 in 10 people stood in their power and went, no, we're not cooperating with this, overnight, finished. Finished. So it's actually an opportunity for you to choose love and be who you are as you're being oppressed, as you're being censored, as you're being fucked with, for you to say no. And what will those ripple effects be when you step into your power because it's the right thing to do? And you know what I'm saying? What's that going to do to people around you, to everybody? You know what I'm saying? That's what humanity's being asked to do, to stand up, to choose love over fear, to choose truth over untruth, to choose God and source and oneness over fear and separation and, frankly, Satan. I mean, if you really go down the rabbit hole, there's some evil shit going on over there. Okay, guys. So it's really an amazing opportunity for our awakening, and that's what humanity's going through right now, an awakening. And yeah, it's rough and it's bumpy and it's ugly, but we're going through it one way or the other, and we are going to get to the other side. That's the only thing I can guarantee you. We will get to the other side. Just don't let anybody stick you with a needle, and stay and stay in the love, and do your thing. Do your thing. Do what you're here to do, and just watch. Just watch. We're gonna get through this thing. It's gonna be epic. Wow, this one guy's really yelling about the thing. Hey, Alan, go and read the Gospel of Thomas at least once. At least once, and see what Jesus is talking about before you do all the yelling. But guys, this has been beautiful. We could go on forever, obviously, but this guy is actually doing stand-up comedy, booyah, at the Vancouver Art Gallery at 1 o'clock, which is pretty soon. And we're doing our usual Freedom March. So if you're in British Columbia or you have friends that are, let them know where to go. Obviously, not even for the freedom movement, just to see this guy crack jokes. Totally worth it. Totally worth it to get out of the house and come to Vancouver, even if you're outside of Vancouver. Totally worth it. And yeah, I'm gonna rock it. This has been great. Paul, let people know. Like sometimes you have, sometimes you've got epic breathing meditations that you guys, your unhaunted meditations. You got anything coming up, or you just want to let people know where to find you? Once in a while.
Thank you. If you go to quantumlife, right, .ca, that's our website,
quantumlife.ca,
and you can join our newsletter, and quantumlife.ca.
I'll type it off. People.
Yeah, and any online courses that we're doing, in particular a breathwork process that we do called Anahata, opening the heart into the quantum field, to download what you came here for and to be that here. That's the whole impetus of that meditation, and some people have had profound experiences, and we'll do them in times when we feel, it's full moons or solstice, powerful events, and then once in a while we have the 7-day where we do it 7 nights in a row, and people, it's just like a game changer, So we'd love to breathe with you all, and share that process with you.
Yeah, they're really intense and awesome. So if you're in here and you've liked some of the little meditations I've done and you want to go deeper with breath work, definitely keep your eyes peeled. They'll put it on their website, and they'll email their newsletter. So keep your eyes peeled, and they're gonna be rocking that. And keep it spiritual. What's up there? We love you. That's our friend. That's in. Remember, she comes to your circles, and she's in Bali.
Oh, Bali, Kirsten.
Yeah, that's Kirsten.
Awesome.
Hey, what's
Kirsten.
up, girl? We love you.
Sister in light.
Nice to see you here. We love you too. What did the guy in blue just say? That's funny. Apparently, I'm the guy in blue. I'm not Sasha. I'm the guy in blue. Usually, I'm wearing the shirt, but today, I'm actually, because it feels so good, the cotton, because it's organic. I'm wearing it underneath, and then this on top, and I got the little. It's nice.
Remember, it's an internal party.
That's right.
See,
it's an
there's
internal
love
party.
in there.
That's right. I don't even need to show the love. The love is inside. It's still there. It doesn't matter. It don't make no never mind. But this has been great. I love you guys tuning in. And yeah, I'm going to be back again next week. As always, same time, same place. Do be in, I got a little woke Telegram group. You can find that on the woke.as website. Just to get little updates and things. And it's been a blast. I'll be on Instagram posting up funny things this week. So if you're not following me on there, you're missing out because it's going to be funny. It's going to be funny.
Yeah. And just one last thing. What the breath work, Kathy and I, my wife, and if you haven't met Kathy, it's your opportunity. She's a true goddess in the highest sense and a loving heart. And so it's a beautiful blend of, we hope, of the masculine, feminine energy to share with you. So big plug to my wife, Kathy, of whom is my, she's my inspiration, and God bless her for all that she does.
Yeah, she's an epic shamama. An epic lady. All right, kids. So this has been beautiful. We're going to send you one big juicy kiss. Mwah! I love you guys. Sending you all love and blessings. Maybe, just maybe, you even felt that. See you guys next week. All right.
Yeah, bye everyone.